I would like to discuss about holding space for yourself, holding space for others, and holding space for this planet, and what it means to hold space. So I learned early on what it means to hold space for myself and for others. At a very young age, I was working with children. My grandmother owns a home childcare business, and I would go to her house early in the morning, go to school, and then return back to her house after school, and then I would be picked up and we would go home. And that went on for some time. And also I would spend summers with my grandmother, and I learned through children what it means to hold space. Basically, holding space for someone, either it be a child or either it be adult, is really holding space for their inner child. And the inner child wants to be heard and seen, right? Like any child, right? A child from 5 to 9 wants to be heard and wants to be seen. The child wants to play, right? And the child wants to play with energy. It wants to release. It wants to share, right? So when we are in a sharing circle, either it be a ceremony or a blessing, that's when we feel most seen and most heard by another individual. That's intimacy, right? And intimacy has everything to do with the inner child, right? The children 5 to 9, they want to dance with you. They want to sing with you. They want to roll in the grass with you. They want to take walks with you. They want to express themselves. They want to share, right? So holding space for me is listening and having the patience to listen, because working with kids early on has instilled in me this ability to be attentive and to be very patient, right? Because children, they go through all kinds of emotions, right? They're sharing with you tears, they're sharing with you cries, they're sharing with you they're sick, right? And they are, maybe they're screaming, or maybe they are very tired, right? And then other times they're sharing with you great joy, right? They're so happy they found a caterpillar. They're like, come look at the caterpillar with me, right? So kids, they're very authentic with their emotions, right? So early on, I understood what it means to hold space for the many emotions of human being, right? Because in a single day with a child is that you're going through like the whole range of emotion, right? A kid can they're crying, and then they're just so joyful, and then they're mad, and then they got a tantrum, and the temper, right? And you get to go through all of the emotions, right? So early on, I knew what it was to have patience and to listen. In that many times it's not necessarily interacting or trying to fix, right? Trying to control the child to be what I want the child to be, right? It's more fact of holding space for me is listening and supporting self-soothing, meaning supporting their journey of knowing what it is to self-soothe, right? And that is me being with them sharing with me listening to them, and me supporting their ability to self-soothe, right? And that is very much a that's very much what we use in adult life to self-soothe, right? In adult life, we kind of shut down and close ourselves off from experiencing emotions like a child, right? From 5 to 9, because we just don't feel like we have the time of the day to do that, right? We have to be a woman of the world, right? There's no time for tears, right? There's no time to even be sick, right? Really, there's no time to be sick. We push, push, push until our body breaks down in many ways, right? Because we're just not paying attention to these subtle sicknesses that are indicating you need to rest, or you need to go on a cleanse, or you need to sleep, or you need to calm down, right? You need to sing, you need to dance, right? That's very, very restorative to do these things, right? But as adults, we don't listen to our own emotions, and then we feel, people around us and ourselves in society, we don't feel like we're seen or heard, because we don't know how to listen to our own emotions. We don't know how to listen to other people's emotions without fixing and correcting and controlling, because we're trying to get them where we think they need to be, right? And then that makes them feel judged, and then that makes them feel like, well, who I am right now isn't good enough, so let me just like wipe it off and then just pretend that I'm not experiencing these emotions, right? And we do that to each other, but really we want to release. We want to release, right? And kids are so good at releasing their energy, meaning, they know, they're so connected to their subtle energy. They know like when this illness is coming in, and they'll be very receptive to like sweating it out, and they'll be really receptive to even like shaking their body, right? Or sleeping for long periods of times, or eating a lot more. They'll be drawn to like more water, or they'll be drawn to certain foods, right? Because they're so in tune with their emotional signals that are indicating they need to relax, or indicating movement of the body, or indicating that it's time to let go of something, right? So kids are very good at, they don't bottle things up, as you probably would know, right? And learning that early on, what it is to hold space for a child who goes through the full range of emotions, really taught me the patience that it takes to listen to an individual who is going through the full range of emotions, and understanding that that's a part of the process, and that they must go through the process, right? You don't want to really stop yourself from sweating, especially if you're trying to, you're trying to clear something out of the system, right? You don't want to stop sweating, because the sweating is trying to kill off the sickness inside you, right? You don't want to stop the tears, because the tears are helping you to release your heartache, right? If you've, the death of a loved one, or, the death of a pet, or it could even be a loss of relationship, right? So holding space is not, I need to correct it, you're in tears, I want to make you happy. And I think my idea of happiness is helping you to not cry anymore, right? But sometimes, many ways, we have to go through the full range of emotions in order to find our way of self-soothing, right? We have to go through the full range of emotions, right? And we have it in us that we just have to be this happy, right, just emotion, and just turn that on, like happy emotion, success emotion. But we don't understand that in order for us to reach equilibrium, which is harmony within ourselves, and we have to be able to go through the full range of emotions, right? So that we can reach contentment, so that we can feel grounded, and so that we can trust ourselves, so that we can know how to take care of ourselves, right? So in holding space, I'll share a experience with a child later on in my life, when I was in more of my early 20s. There was a child who was in the 5th grade, and this child was seen as the problem child, right? I came into this after school program, academy for preschool, pre-K, and there, going in, the teacher before me would tell me about this child that was a problem child, right? That it was, a child very rambunctious, is kind of the leader of the pack, right? And is kind of just all over the place, and even, kind of stands up to the teacher, and kind of puts the teacher in his place, right? That type of thing. And I came in and I met this boy, and off the bat, you know, our relationship was nothing like this teacher was saying his relationship with him was. Just he's just this bad child, and needs to be whipped and all this stuff, right? So I came into this relationship with this boy knowing that he was the pack leader, right? Everybody looked up to him, everybody followed him, right? And I came in with this I'm going to hold space for him, right? So I would listen to him. I would literally listen to him. I would learn about what is he like. Okay, he likes soccer. And then I would take part in playing soccer with him, right? So, I would get to know him, and he said he likes to be outside, and then I would try to create time in the afternoon where he can play outside, right? So holding space for him was like I was actually wanting to get to know him, right? He would even like show me like some music that he liked on like YouTube and stuff, and I would listen, and he would share with me what he thought of this artist, and then I would share with him what I thought, right? And I also would create this environment where we could do crafts together, right? And this boy, he is not someone that would like sit down and do little Christmas crafts, right, with me, but he would do it with me, right? And then we would dance. I would have all these dance parties, and I would just, we'd be dancing to Thriller during like Halloween time and just kind of go crazy, and he would just be looking like I was some wild woman or something, right? But in as more weeks, months went on, I started to notice that he started to respect me, right? And that he started to looked very highly of me, to the point where he even announced that he cared about me very deeply, right? And this child is, he's, very, can be very guarded, right? Because he goes to school and he experiences, the boys, wrestling, and some of, being judgmental, and the teachers are, somewhat, trying to control him, and it's my way, the highway type of stuff. And I wasn't like that. I was like, share with me, what do you like, right? You want to play? Okay, then let's play this. So for me, like holding space is listening, letting a person be heard and seen. And sometimes that's not let me control, let me try to fix them, something's wrong with them. That's the worst thing we can do. Something's wrong with them, right? And just like projecting, like, I accept you exactly who you are. You are this, like, I would even say to this boy, like, you're just like some extraordinary boy, right? In all of who you are. Like, you are a leader in many ways, right? Just do you, right? And I would hold space. And when I would give these sort of indications of like we need to calm down, or we need to kind of soothe ourselves, I would redirect him without controlling him and like do what I say and my way, the highway. But I would actually have a collaboration where I would see me and this person on a two-way street, not I'm a pedestal, and then I'm looking at them like, what are you doing, right? That kind of thing. So I extend that even to relationships like with adults, and how we want to be seen and we want to be heard. And that's all about our patience, our willingness to listen, and also our willingness to get to know them and try things that they like. And that's very a good quality in that kind of holding space, is being interested in what they would like to do. So if they like to play basketball, if you have no idea how to do that, and you're like, I'm gonna hit the ball and I'm gonna hit myself in the head with it, right? Then you just open up to it, and that shows that sense of willingness to to discover them,